Welcome to Guidance for Implementing Teacher Observation Systems in Single Appraiser Districts. This session is designed to support Single Appraiser Districts as they plan and implement the required components of teacher observation for TIA. We will unpack requirements for teacher observation components within a local designation system and identify best practices to support Single Appraiser Districts with data collection and observation systems. A series of technical assistance sessions have been offered to support districts as they prepare to submit a TIA application. Previous sessions include a general information session about TIA and an overview of teacher observation requirements. Before engaging with the content in this video, districts are encouraged to review and become familiar with the content in the previous sessions. In this video, we will review the required teacher observation requirements for TIA through the lens of Single Appraiser Districts. We will share best practices to ensure valid and reliable data collection for small districts. We will also explore resources available on the TIA website to support Single Appraiser Districts. Let's take a few minutes to revisit some general TIA information. The TIA team is here to support districts as they build systems that help recruit teachers, incentivize them to stay, and make teaching a more desirable profession. We are here to support districts design an effective and individualized designation system that meets their district's needs. As you develop your local designation system, there are 3 critical decisions your district will need to make. Who is eligible? How will they be designated? And how will they be compensated? This presentation is designed to support districts with the teacher observation component that is an important part of question 2. All teachers in eligible teaching assignments must have teacher observation and student growth data during the data capture year. In addition, some districts choose to include optional components as part of determining designations. This is done in an effort to include local priorities within the local designation system. As districts engage with the TIA application process, it's important to note a few key milestones. Prior to submitting a TIA application, districts are encouraged to engage stakeholders in the development of their local designation system. During year 1, districts will include and submit their TIA application for system approval. This process also includes a TIA teacher buy-in survey. During this process, the district's local designation system is reviewed for compliance with all statutory requirements. In year 2, districts with system approval will transition into their data capture year. This is also referred to as implementation year. Districts will take their approved local designation system and ensure it is implemented with fidelity. In addition, they will capture the data needed for data submission. In year 3, districts submit their data along with their proposed designations. Districts receive full system approval after a successful data validation. In subsequent years, districts may consider expanding their local designation system and put forth teachers for new or higher designations. Now let's focus on the teacher observation components from the lens of Single Appraiser Districts. Here's the year at a glance for teacher observation. It starts off with certifications, calibrations, and data analysis. The data analysis will help identify trends that need to be addressed throughout the school year. During the school year, appraisers observe teachers, review data, and continue to make adjustments as necessary. The year ends with the final analysis of teacher observation data. The goal of the teacher observation component of a district's local teacher designation system is to ensure that teacher observation ratings are valid and reliable. Does it accurately measure teacher effectiveness and are scores consistent? During this session, we will identify a few best practices that Single Appraiser districts can implement to help ensure valid and reliable scores. All districts, regardless of their size, must have 6 components in place in order to collect valid and reliable teacher observation data. Statutory requirements require appraisers to certify at least every 3 years and they must calibrate at least annually. Best practice includes multiple calibration activities for appraisers and multiple observations or walkthroughs for teachers. Districts are also required to review observation data for skew and correlation with student growth measures. After reviewing data, districts should develop a plan to respond to any trends or skew in the data to help ensure accuracy of observation scores. In previous years, we have heard from single appraiser districts regarding the unique challenges they face. Limited calibration opportunities are often an issue for districts with 1 to 2 appraisers. Some small districts have also shared that budgetary constraints impact available funds to implement a reliable data management system. Districts with 1 to 2 campuses have shared the small data sample size impacts their ability to analyze data from various perspectives. Small districts often indicate a concern with staff capacity. Many appraisers in small districts have a wide range of responsibilities within the district. The vast spread of knowledge appraisers in a single campus district must attain can often pose a challenge. Appraisers in these situations must acquire knowledge for each content area from K through 12 in some instances. Unintentional inflated scores due to biased ratings have also been identified as a challenge by single appraiser districts. Some examples shared include an appraiser might be assigned to their next-door neighbor, their child's Sunday school teacher, or their best friend's wife. These connections may lead to biased scores and negatively impact the reliability of scores. In the next few slides, we will identify best practices that will help alleviate some of these potential challenges. Calibration opportunities help ensure appraisers implement the rubric with fidelity and remain normed for scoring and evidence collection. When a district has a limited number of appraisers, who might they recruit as calibration partners? The goal is to enlist the help of 1 or more calibration partners. Ideally, calibration partners would be certified in the rubric being used by the district. Calibration partners may not necessarily have to provide feedback directly to teachers or appraise teachers. They serve more as thought partners to discuss ratings and evidence for calibration purposes. Now that we've identified some potential calibration partners, let's dive into a sample single appraiser calibration calendar. The calendar can be found on our TIA website under the Resources tab. As you look through the sample calendar, remember that this is just a sample. Some strategies may work and others may not. The idea is to look through an example, identify calibration activities, and think about what is effective in the example. Consider the 3 questions as you review the calendar. What is effective about Flora ISD's calibration calendar? What are the benefits of certifying high-performing teachers? And how does this compare with what your district currently does to increase calibration throughout the year? So now it's your turn. Pause the video and review the sample single appraiser calibration calendar. Let's review the key strategies Flora ISD has implemented to provide their single appraiser an opportunity to calibrate throughout the year with a variety of partners. We see they plan to build a calibration committee. Teacher leaders will apply for these opportunities and will not officially score teachers. They have planned a variety of calibration activities from single dimension walkthroughs to campus walkthroughs. And they plan to collaborate with neighboring school districts. One thing to keep in mind is to ensure you have provided opportunities to calibrate before completing formal observations. In some instances, we've heard of districts attempting to complete all observations in the fall, which then only provides a few opportunities for calibration. Any calibrations completed in the spring after evaluations are complete truly do not impact the formal observation scores. Calendaring calibrations and observations will help ensure reliable and accurate scores for teacher observation. Also, keep in mind it is best practice to schedule more than 1 observation per year, so perhaps consider 1 in the fall and 1 in the spring. More than 1 observation will help increase the overall data set, which will help with data analysis. but we know this can also lead to some capacity concerns. So let's take a look at capacity concerns single appraiser districts may face. Single appraiser districts often struggle with staffing-related issues. Often one person may wear many hats and is responsible for multiple tasks within the district. Here are a few strategies that single appraiser districts have tried to mitigate capacity concerns. Teacher leaders may be trained and certified to assist appraisers with observations. Teacher leaders may support appraisers by completing scored observations or by conducting unscored observations and coaching teachers. This is a great option to consider as it also helps to provide leadership opportunities to teachers who want to remain in the classroom. Recording video lessons and scoring later can help address scheduling conflicts that may arise. Determine which teachers may need additional support and provide those teachers with more frequent and longer observations. This will help you provide more consistent feedback that will lead to improved instructional practices. Teachers needing less support may be scheduled for less frequent or shorter observations. Create a teacher observation calendar to ensure all eligible teachers receive at least one 45-minute observation. In some instances, the issue may be the scope of content knowledge required by the appraiser. It can be challenging for a single appraiser to feel confident as they rate subjects from pre-K through 12. So let's go over a few recommendations. An appraiser may access the free T-Test videos or the National Institute for Excellence teaching videos to practice with unfamiliar content areas, grade levels, or even T-Test domains. For example, perhaps the appraiser is not familiar with art instruction. They could watch a video of an art teacher on the NIET portal, rate the teacher using the T-Test rubric, and compare their ratings and evidence with the ratings and evidence provided on the portal. The second piece of guidance to help the appraiser build the content knowledge is to complete pre-work before observing an unfamiliar content area or grade level. And finally, perhaps most importantly, is leaning on the teacher's expertise or seeking the expertise of a content expert. It's okay to ask a content expert to remind you how to, for example, solve an algebra problem so that you are prepared to give better feedback. Let's explore the T-Test and NIET portal and the available resources districts may access. Districts have access to a video library with a variety of grade levels and content areas on the T-Test website. These are free resources available to support districts. We encourage you to pause the video and take time to review the resources available on the T-Test website. NIET, Educator Effectiveness Preparation and Support System, also referred to as NIET EE-Pass, is another free resource available to districts. This resource is made available through a partnership between NIET and the TIA program. This resource library contains hundreds of organized materials designed to share and collaborate among district teams to support local calibration of appraisal systems and best practices. It provides a video library with a variety of grade levels and content areas. It also provides ratings and the evidence sheets for each video. This is a great way for appraisers to practice scoring and evidence collection. Districts interested in signing up for this free resource may do so on the TIA website. We encourage you to pause the video now and take a few minutes to sign up for NIET EE-Pass. Biased ratings. This is an issue not just specific to single appraiser districts, but we know it may be more prominent and have more impact in smaller districts. So let's look at some suggestions. First, it is important that the district identify which teachers are at risk of receiving inaccurate scores because of close relationships. Then, we recommend having someone besides the district's appraiser conduct a scored observation of those teachers. That person would need to be trained and certified in the district's rubric and approved by the school board. Additionally, we recommend providing objective evidence for every rating given. While this is a best practice for all teachers, it is especially important where bias could exist. We recommend using the statewide performance standards as a comparison point. These standards came from trends across the state, so ratings significantly higher or lower than these trends could indicate a problem. In other words, if the appraiser is rating far more or far fewer than 5% of teachers at 4.5 or higher, this could indicate a problem. Now that we've discussed observations, let's move into the data analysis components of teacher observation. Many small districts lack the budget and the staffing to invest in well-maintained data management systems. The T-Test portal includes an evaluation management software as a web-based, on-demand resource that features powerful data reporting tools. This cumulative data includes entry and reporting fields at the teacher, appraiser, and system levels. The system generates multiple reports that are used to analyze the strengths and needs of the evaluation process and guide decision-making at the district, campus, and department levels, including inter-rater alignment and professional development connections. It's free and districts can access it at the Teach for Texas website. Other data platforms include Eduphoria, DMAC, and TechC Teams, just to name a few. The data sample size can sometimes be a challenge for single appraisers districts as well. They are unable to compare observation scores by appraiser and must rely on appraiser calibration opportunities. In some small districts, there may be one teacher per grade level and therefore are also unable to compare data by grade level. Suggestions to address data sample size issues. One 45-minute observation per teacher is required. However, best practice is to provide multiple observation and feedback opportunities to support and improve teacher effectiveness throughout the year. Additional data can be collected by using other co-observers. Some small districts may not be able to look at data by grade level, but could generalize and compare elementary, middle, and high school teachers. The idea is that districts consider their current context and review data from a variety of perspectives that will help improve student achievement. This graph shows average T-test scores by grade clusters, EC through 2nd, 3rd through 5th, 6th through 8th, and 9th through 12th. Let's think about, what do you notice from looking at this observation data? Perhaps what stood out is that EC through 2nd outperforms all other grade clusters. There's one teacher in 9th through 12th grade that's an outlier. And in general, 6th through 8th grade teachers appear to be struggling. Appraisers should be careful to balance qualitative data with an analysis of the quantitative view of the scores. It's easy to explain away the skew when you know so much about specific teachers, but rather consider using a protocol to analyze the data with other leaders to come to broader conclusions about appraisals across the board. This is just one example of how you might look at observation data differently. Single appraiser districts, like other districts, have several things to consider as they develop a local designation system. It must meet statutory compliance, fit within the district context, and ensure valid and reliable data is collected to support accurate teacher designations. A reminder that all districts, regardless of their size, must have these 6 components in place in order to obtain valid and reliable teacher observation data. Now that we've reviewed all the components of teacher observation from the perspective of a single appraiser district, let's dive into a sample teacher observation plan that pulls all the components together. The sample teacher observation plan can be found on our TIA website under the Resources tab. This resource demonstrates how one district plans for teacher observation training, certification, calibration, and data analysis throughout the year. Districts should adapt this plan to fit their unique needs and context. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and review the sample single appraiser teacher observation plan. As we wrap up this session, I would like to highlight a few resources you may find helpful as you prepare your TIA application. You can find detailed information regarding teacher observation components of TIA in both of these resources. The TIA Guidebook provides detailed guidance on each of the required parts. The Readiness Guide highlights each of the required parts of a local designation system and is organized by success factors and related criteria. We encourage districts to bookmark these resources and reference them frequently throughout this process. Thank you for completing this session. If you have any additional questions, please email the TIA inbox at tia@tea.texas.gov.